Hey, it's Dustin with the Davidson Group at ReeceNichols here with a market update for May 7th of 2021. This week we're going to be covering statistics in our local area for the Ozark Gateway Association of Realtors. What we're going to talk about here is the number of properties that sold March of 2020 to March of 2021, where some of those differences lie by way of financing or how those homes were purchased. We're going to talk a little bit about price point. We're going to talk a little bit about days on market, and then wrap up with what this means for you and what that looks like if you're looking to enter the market in the next couple of months as these trends continue or on the projection that they're at. So jumping in to these statistics came out this week, so this is fairly recent information for you all. 2020, in March of 2020, we sold 242 homes. We're adding 39 homes for March of 2021 to make that number 281 homes sold for that month. But how did it break down? You know, we have a lot of cash and we have a lot of conventional buyers out there, or that's the assumption, right? We hear things about, hey, there were multiple offers and someone came in out of state and they had all cash. We talked a little bit about that last week in our Real Talk episode. We have people that are waiving contingencies, they're doing appraisal gaps, they are waiving inspections, they're doing all of these different things, but do the numbers actually say that? Well, as we jump in and look at this, we can see that our area, we're open up to what's known as rural development or USDA financing, which is 100%. We have VA financing, which is 100%. We have FHA financing, which is 3.5% down, or 96.5% financed. Those numbers were surprising. I thought that there would have been a drastic change based off of this perception, right? But we're only down, FHA and VA, we're only down 2 sales in each of those categories, 2 total, right, from last year to this year. Rural development, we actually grew by 6. We went from 21 in 2020, March of 2020, to 27 in March of 2021. Really the big difference here in our growth, where did it happen? It happened with cash and it happened with conventional. So that perception actually is correct, thinking about all this money that's out there and the type of purchase that people are making. In March of 2020, there were 97 conventional sales in the month of March. March of 2021, there were 122. So that's a difference of 25. We grew 25 there. That's a big chunk of our growth, that 39 growth year over year for the month of March. Another big number we talked about was cash. In March of 2020, 45 sales were contributed to a cash sale. In March of 21, we had 69 that were purchased on cash. So when you hear things like, we're waiving contingencies, we came in with all cash, we were well above asking, we waived the appraisal, we did this, we did that, we're seeing here based off of those statistics and those trends that those things are actually accurate. Though we're running flat on FHA and VA purchases, if you're a government-backed or a government-assisted purchaser, you still have hope because you're still able to purchase properties. And actually those rural development areas or those rural areas that would qualify for that rural development, we actually grew in the month of March, which to me was quite surprising, and actually a lot of hope there, knowing that those government-backed purchasers have an opportunity and a chance to purchase in this crazy market that we're in. So as we move down my statistic list here, we're going to look at absorption rate. We've talked about that in the past, but it's essentially the availability of homes at any given time. The availability that we had based off of March of 2021 was 2.48 months. So we're running about 2.5 months worth of inventory based off of the homes that are on the market as we speak. Now that doesn't break it down by price point, right? So higher price points, we're going to have a lot more availability than we are on those lower price points, which means if you're in that average price point or even slightly higher than average price point, you're still going to have difficulty finding a home because those home availabilities are far less than the overall market that we're talking about. In March of 2020, those numbers were over 4 months of inventory. So we're steadily declining. You've heard this theme throughout these market updates, but we're still very much in the middle of a seller's market. Let's talk about price points. We've talked about the increase in price and reaching out and grabbing that. If you've seen any statistics on national numbers and even some of the average price points we're going to talk about in another video, you can see that those growths are huge, double-digit growths. But for us in our marketplace, we had an almost 8% growth in our average list price. Over the month of March in 2021, we're over $170,000. When we look at the average sale price, it's slightly less than that at just under 7, almost 163,000. And here's the other statistic that really struck me as interesting, right? Because we see these homes that are, going on and coming off the market with multiple offers, and sometimes within a couple hours of being on the market, they're already sold or pended. I talk to buyers all the time, and hey, I saw a home hit the market, and when I got home with my wife after dinner, we were going to sit down and look at these homes. They're already gone. But our average days on market, surprisingly, for the month of March in 2021, the average was still 90 days. Now that's down 20% from 113 from March of 2020, but still 3 months as an average. Again, we're talking about the entire market. So we've got those really high price points. We've got those really low price points where those homes need a lot of work, or maybe have a smaller size than that typical 2-3 bedroom, 3-4 bedroom, 2-3 bath, those types of things. Anyways, we see here that our market is still producing, even though we have a lack of inventory, and even though our absorption rate is still very low for our area. We are putting homes on the market. We are full swing spring market at this point. We're selling them as we put them on, but our averages aren't. They're not out of the top or over the top as far as super low. What you would expect as far as what you hear. We do have a lot of cash. We do have a lot of conventional financing in the marketplace. So if you find yourself lacking in that regard, we have to be more strategic in how we go about your purchase, right? What does this mean though, right? These are just numbers unless you apply them to something. Well, if you're not looking to be in the market, whether that be a purchase or a sale, they probably don't mean much to you. But if you are, sitting down and figuring out the strategy in which we want to move forward is really, really important. I can't stress that importance enough, especially whenever you're looking at an FHA, VA, or a rural development type of purchase. If you're a seller and you know that we're having these big growths in cash and conventional, and you have a great offer that comes across to FHA, you may want to hold off and wait for a potential conventional or cash offer, because that may yield you a better end result, even though the pricing may be a little bit different, especially around appraisal, if those do come in. Speaking of appraisals, we've had some issues, or I personally have had some issues with appraisal dollars coming in low just because the market didn't support the numbers that were being offered or the offers that were being made. But as some of those homes that are now selling that have sold cash or conventional, or had what we called an appraisal gap in them, that they paid over what the appraised value was, those are now hitting the market as sold, and they're creating themselves a comp. So then we've got a better feel for those homes and what we can do moving forward. Great statistics. It really doesn't fix the issue that we see as far as lack of inventory, but I'm hopeful in the sense in knowing that it's not all cash, it's not all conventional. So if you're not one of those types of buyers, you do have an opportunity. If you're a home seller, it gives you a wide range of options, and you're not tied into that very first offer that comes, or even the first couple of offers. It really gives you the flexibility to get the best term, to get the best price, and to get the best time frame for you. Hope this information's found use to you. If you want to talk about this information specifically in more detail, or you want to talk about your home and what that looks like and how that can fit into this information, feel free to reach out to me. Hey, drop a comment if you liked the video. Feel free to share it to a friend, as someone who you know might be interested or looking into the market, to see if maybe we could just have a conversation and see where that goes. No commitments, nothing that we'd have to do on that side of it. I just want to provide information and value to you all. Until we meet again, until we see each other, hope you're doing well. I'll see you soon.